welcome into The Hop, the craft beer podcast that you've been waiting for all week. Welcome to Thursday. The week's almost over. Let's drink about it. My name is Stephen Humes. I'm here with Gabriel Apria.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome in round 83 of The Hop. Let's go with sailing. We got Mast Brewing Company out of Maine. We are very pumped for this one. Been a while since we've head in this direction of the map, so this will be good for all. Mast Lane's got dope beers. They have a dope brewery. We're very excited to get into it. And welcome. Thank you for spending your Thirsty Thursday with us.
Definitely been a while since we've been to Maine. We've been to some states, New Hampshire and Vermont quite a bit, but Maine is a whole different beast, and they have great beer, and we've done some Maine breweries on the show certainly before, but this is a good one, and one that has been on the scene for a while, but maybe one that you haven't heard of quite as much as, say, an Allagash, sort of, definitely sort of a smaller distribution channel, so this will be a fun one. I'm a little nervous for today myself, but we'll get into that.
I think you're going to be okay. We did our research. It's all good. It says it's all good. I will admit for this brewery, one of the beers we're doing is like the only beer I knew from this brewery at the time. So we got two this round. So one of them will be new. The other one is like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. So we'll see. We
got a sour. We got a milk stout. That's what's coming your way. In addition,
and if you know this brewery and you know the milk stouts, you probably know what we're talking about. Yeah.
In addition, news and notes as always. We got Can Arts and Crafts. We got fun toast music. We got all the stuffs. So welcome to it. Glad you found us. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at the HO Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as a video podcast to see our beautiful faces. I mean, really, it's just the most attractive hour you can spend on YouTube every week, if I'm being honest. And that's objective. That's from user comments. That's not me saying that. It's not
like our parents.
But you can also find us on Facebook. You can send us an email, thehopod@gmail.com. If you have brewery suggestions or beer suggestions, something you want to see on the show, a criticism, a question, a concern, a complaint, if you want to send us money, that's a good way to get in touch with us, advertise with it, whatever. To hit us up, thehopod@gmail.com. And most importantly, we are on all the major podcast platforms and wherever you listen. If you want to give us 5 stars, we'd love that. 4 stars, we would like that. 3 stars, we would accept that. Less than that, we would be less happy. But you can do that, and also you can write a review. That's the best way to kind of give some feedback if you want to see something changed or adjust. We certainly read those and appreciate it. And tell your friends, tell your family, tell your barber, tell your barista, tell the dude who checked you out at your local grocery store, tell the person standing on the treadmill next to you, tell your friends about the hop. Word of mouth makes us feel good inside.
Just send an email to literally everyone you know and spread the word. And as always, let us know what breweries to hit up next. Let us know what breweries to repeat. Let us know if you find gross beers. We haven't done This Week in Gross in a while, and it's one of our favorite segments, and we've had a couple people send us stuff, so if you see something that you're like, that's horrifying, hey guys, let us know. We are here for you.
Light week in beer news, but we've got a few things to cover.
Oh, yes, we do.
Beer news.
All right. First up, just to give a quick highlight to this.
Jinkies.
Boston Beer Company, their Q2 reports came out, and there's been a lot of sort of news coverage indicating a decline in hard seltzer sales. Apparently, Truly ain't doing so hot. So that sucks for y'all. Not quite yet, but...
I don't know what article you read, but I got like a Yahoo article, and it was like, breaking news, they're kind of screwed. And I was like, ruh-roh. One of the things I read was that the quote is like, the hard seltzer boom is kind of over. And I don't know if I would agree.
You'll love to see it. Yeah, I don't know if I agree either.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I will admit that like, I think people are kind of like used to it now, because it was huge when it was like, just White Claw, just Truly, and now it's all these other companies, and it's like, all right.
Listen, you're not gonna listen. It's hard to mourn seltzer. If I'm being honest,
No. We're just reporting on the facts, but we have our opinions as well.
We're trying to. Yeah, it's that's I'm excited about it. If I'm being honest. Anyway, Athletic Brewing is expanding, and Athletic Brewing, I feel like it's kind of hard to not know Athletic Brewing, but if you don't, they are a non-alcoholic brewery, strictly non-alcoholic brewery. Non-alcoholic beer has existed forever, but it's definitely a big trend this year specifically, and that's why you see all of the major beer brands doing it. We've seen Budweiser do it. We've seen Corona do it. We've seen, it come out. But Athletic Brewing is a craft brewery, exclusively non-alcoholic beer, and it's also somewhat near and dear to our hearts because they are originally out of Connecticut, Stratford, Connecticut. So last year, they opened a facility in San Diego. So they are now a bi-coastal brewery, but they signed a lease just in the last month or so for a new facility in Milford, Connecticut. If you're not familiar with Connecticut, that's very close to Stratford, but it does give them capacity for 150,000 barrels of production on both coasts, San Diego and Milford. It's going to have a new canning line. It's going to be capable of 400 cans per minute. So the plan is to kind of substantially renovate the space, basically turning it into the largest non-alcoholic producing brewery on the East Coast. It's also going to bring 9,200 jobs to Milford, which is, you love to see it. The company had looked at spaces, there was definitely cheaper property in other states, but they really wanted to stay committed to Connecticut so that they could keep their staff and stay committed to the people that they already work with. So it's great for them, and it's exciting. And it comes after sort of a large and successful round of fundraising that they just did, which included investments from the likes of Lance Armstrong, J.J. Watt, some other NFL players, some other professional athletes, things like that. So yeah, they have mentioned plans too to expand their Stratford space. So I am not entirely clear whether they're just abandoning that and moving to Milford, or if they're going to keep Stratford and also have Milford and just have like 3 different spaces going. We'll see. But the plan is the aim is to open the Milford plant around the second quarter of 2022. So like the spring or early summer of next year.
Yeah, and they have a lot of celebrity sports players endorsements, which is really cool. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to stay fit for your sport, but you want to drink beer.
Right, it makes sense. I mean, it's like, I've heard the criticisms. I've probably said the criticisms, like, what is the point of non-alcoholic beer? But it serves a purpose. I mean, it serves an obvious purpose. Some people can't drink alcohol for a variety of reasons, and this gives them an alternative there. But also, it is just healthier. And if you like the taste of beer and you don't want to poison your body, as it were, with
pounds,
with the fun stuff or that, Athletic Brewing is provides a good option, and it's within, again, like I said, it's within the craft beer space. It's not O'Doul's, it's not Bud Zero or whatever the hell that is. It's within the craft beer space. So, big news for Athletic Brewing. Exciting. More to come.
Connecticut, here we come back. We featured them on round 61. You have definitely heard us talking about this brewery. Crown and Hops are launching an equity crowdfunding campaign to fund their new space. And it looks incredible. Looks so dope. So they're looking for a new tap room and production facility, and they're doing it. They've secured a lease for a 14,400 square foot facility, which is a mile from SoFi Stadium, where my boys play. Pumped. Yeah. So, if you're like me and you're a Chargers fan, either before the game or after the game, go get a beer from Crown and Hops. If you would like to contribute, there's a bunch of different tiers of perks based on how much you want to donate. Definitely go visit the website. They're doing this with a website called Start Engine. This is how they're doing it. But if you just Google, look it up, you should be able to find it no problem. The minimum donation is $250, but this does come with a share of the company priced at $5 per share. So donors will become part owners of Crowns and Hops, which is really cool to see. crownsandhops.com. You can also find the link there. Check out Start Engine, the page, read the full pitch, and donate if you can. They are a dope brewery. We loved the beers. We loved the cause. They're running around California providing their services and beer in ways that represent them. And also, guys, it's near SoFi. It's like right near it. It's so cool. If you go I don't know if they have roof access, but if they do, they could probably, they can't watch a game, but they can hear a game. I'm down.
Roof access and alcohol are two things that don't generally mix. But if you're interested in learning more about the company, I think you mentioned it, but Round 61 is when they were on our shows back in February. And if you are watching on YouTube, I always have sort of the brewery space behind me, and of course for Crowns and Hops they don't have a space, but I had behind me on YouTube the rendering of what you would be funding. So if you're able to donate and you're interested to see what their kind of plans are, or at least were at the time, go check out Round 61 on our YouTube. It's in the podcast episodes playlist, and you can take a look at what your money would be contributing to, what you would be a part owner of.
Yeah, that's huge. So it's not just helping out. You'd be a part owner. Right now, they have over $170,000 raised. They're trying to keep it going. So help them out if you can. It's for a good cause, for a great brewery.
Mast Landing Brewing Company. That's mast like the mast on a boat. Hence the music. Gabe, do yo thing.
Yo-hoy. I'm kidding. It's not going to be a pirate toast. But here we are. May there always be work for your hands to do. May your purse always hold a coin or two. May the sun always shine warm on your window pane. May a rainbow be certain to follow each rain. And may God fill your glass with beer to cheer you. May the hand of a friend always be near you. Gentlemen, start your livers.
Vroom, vroom. You know how hard it is to shut this music off when I have to do it?
It's just oh yeah.
Some of them are just so epic, and that one is...
that one's a good one. That was a good find. Good job.
Yeah. All right. Well,
we got beers to drink. All right, so we are starting off with a beer that you may not have heard of, but if you haven't, join in. This one's going to be good. We are starting off with...
All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up.
This is the All the Way Up Sour Ale. The version we have is the Tangerine, Passion Fruit, and Lactose version. It is coming in at 4.8%. Beer Advocate has yet to review it. Untapped has given it a 4.01. No IBUs to speak of. On the SRM chart, we're looking at about, I would say, like a 4 to a 6-ish. It's a little on the orangey side, but not too dark. Cloudy, definitely not hazy see-through.
Yeah, plenty of carbonation, plenty of bubbles coming up from the glass. It did pour with a good, I would say an inch, maybe a little more of like this stringy, sort of fizzy ivory foam, but not much retention. Collapsed right away. It's not a whole lot to look at, to be honest. There's just very little foam, and it looks like a cider or like a wine almost.
It kind of does, yeah.
With more carbonation.
That's always fun. It is part of a series. There are other versions, the oranges, pineapples, and cherries, and then there's one that's blackberries and mangoes. From the brewery, All the Way Up is our way of showcasing the height of fruit expression in our sour ales. We've worked hard to lock in our favorite fruit combinations, creating a series of flavor-packed, easy-to-drink, yet always revolving options. Expect bold, juicy citrus notes and a mellow, tropical sweetness from passion fruit. Sourness is subtle and balanced in this beer, reminiscent of a crisp, tangy bite of a fresh tangerine. Contains lactose, sugar. Me oh my.
So I think it's important to keep in mind here the lactose. Because, yes, the fruits are tangerine and passion fruit. They have different versions of it. But the lactose is something you don't always see in a sour.
Yeah.
And that does... that is of note. So with that in mind, what I smell, first thing is just sour, just the esters of sour. Like you put your nose to it, you're like, got it. I know where we are.
Funky
and
comes to mind.
Yes, funky for sure. And then as far as fruit goes, it is tropical. There's some fun like things kind of dancing behind it, but the predominant thing for me is the passion fruit. I think the tangerine is more subtle, and the passion fruit kind of takes over if I had to pick one on the fruit side of things.
I would agree with that. Tangerine for sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but part of me really wants to say pineapple. Maybe it's just because of a combination of a lot going on, but my first thought is pineapple.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I meant by like the fun things happening behind it. Like I get passion fruit first, but there's like, I don't know if it's pineapple for me. I think it's more guava, but it's like a tropical fruity dance happening behind the pineapple. Like the pineapple, yeah. Like if we're thinking like the pineapple's the front man, he's like out front like dancing, but like the like guava and the pineapple, like the tropical things. Sorry, the passion fruit is the front man, but those like tropical fruits are like the backup dancers. You know what I mean? Like they're the three guys in the background. Passion fruit did the slide out. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Okay. Yes. Maybe they're at the bar ordering a drink and they're like, we'll meet you out there.
Passion fruit did the slide out. He's leading the band. And the other ones are the Supremes behind him, just sort of like doing their thing.
Doing their thing. It does smell very sour-like, though.
Do you get any sweetness from the lactose?
I feel like I do, but because of how sour it smells, it's kind of in the way, you know? I think I do get a subtle sweetness to it. I'm assuming I'm going to get it more in the taste, but that's, remains to be seen. But it's hidden, but it's there for sure.
It's super subtle. It's like a vanilla thing that's like just in the background, like kind of where you would detect the malts, which is, very crackery, a little pepper. There's also a little bit of vanilla, I think. But let's see what it tastes like, shall we?
Why not? Here.
Cheers.
Flavor, tangerine. Passion fruit is very, very solid, very, very forward. I think I need to take a couple more sips before I decide if I'm getting that sweetness or not, but it's first taste, funky as hell, not much else. Second taste, flavor, profiles, everything that it's made with, shining.
I think that the lactose, what I really think it does is it balances the tartness out because, yes, it's sour. And yeah, it's a slight pucker, but it's not like a super tart like the way a kettle sour often can be, which this, we don't know how exactly it was soured. I don't know if it was fermented in a barrel or if it was kettle soured quickly. I don't know, but because of the lactose, that balances it out. It adds, I don't want to say a creaminess. It's not even a detectable sweetness, but it just sort of cuts the edge off the tart a little bit. All of the fruit is there too. I think that while on the nose, what I was primarily smelling was passion fruit. In the mouth, I'm getting this nice sort of like on the seesaw, like they're even. Tangerine, passion fruit, both there doing their job with all those, like I said, those secondary fruits, the tropical things, the guava, maybe a little mango, just, just sidestepping behind them, just doing the backup dance, just supporting.
I mean, they're not there to show off. They're there to make the other guy look good. Like, it's his birthday, and he was like, yo, we're going to the club. And they're like, whatever you want, man.
Like the tangerine and passion fruit is Beyonce, and then the The pineapples, like they're there to support. You can't
Queen,
stand
go
in
ahead,
front.
Queen.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I definitely like the taste more than the smell. Like, I think don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, I think if you smell this and you really don't like sours, don't smell it, but try it. Because you are right. It's not very... The first sip was lip puckering, but every sip after that has been really nice and fruitful, and I would agree, very balanced. I think if... It may be an introduction into the sour world. Maybe not. Dealer's choice. But the taste... The smell just, I don't think, does as much for it. But the taste, and, you don't pour beer to smell it. You pour beer to drink it. So... Good thing it's not the other way around.
It's very fruity. Yeah, it's crushable. It's refreshing. It's zingy. It's crisp. It's like
crushable for sure.
It's like having like a crisp wine or something on a hot summer's day, which this is. It's a perfect it's a perfect beer to have when you need something refreshing and lively and full of flavor. And if you're not into sours, like if I do not like sours, I don't think this is going to be like your subtle like it's a sour. It's pretty clearly a sour. But I think that it's a really good use of lactose because sometimes lactose can make a beer like overly creamy or just add a textural thing, or it can just, I don't know, it can do different things depending on the kind of beer it is. If it's an IPA, you're making it a milkshake IPA and you're turning it can be hit or miss, but this is a really nice use of lactose here. It just, like I said, it cuts the edge off the tartness in a really subtle but pleasant way and makes the mouthfeel more enjoyable, I think.
The mouthfeel is enjoyable. I will admit I am a little thirsty, so I would say yes to summer, but I wouldn't say yes to, like, 95 degrees, can't walk 5 feet without dripping sweat summer. Like, if it's really, really hot out, I don't know that I'm grabbing one of these. But if it's like a nice summer day, the sun's out, it's not too hot, we're just chilling in the backyard, we got the sprinkler doing this thing, we're running through it, we're throwing water balloons at each other, grab one of these.
Grab it all the way up.
If you're having a summer block party with your neighbors...
Because people do that.
People do that, yeah.
Whatever works for you. It's good. And Gabe and I, it's not a secret that we are not the biggest sour people in the world.
No, but
I think
because of this podcast, it's given me a nice introduction. It's really expanded it for me. And I'm sure that could kind of... You liked sours before this, though.
I like them, but I mean, this is the kind of sour I actually enjoy. But there is a point for me where if it's too sour, it's just, I always point to the kettle soured ones when they're soured quickly with an agent.
Yeah,
and there's not enough flavor to cut that. It's sometimes it's unpleasant to me. But that's me. To each his own. Let's talk about Mast Landing Brewing a little bit. They're originally out of Westbrook, Maine. And they've been operating since 2015. So again, this is no brand new brewery. They've been on the block. They've been at it for a while.
They hear.
Absolutely. It's an operation that started in a garage of their owner in Freeport, Maine, and it expanded really quickly. It made the list for I think it was Brewers Association or Beer Advocates, one of their like top 50 fastest growing breweries in the country. They gave it 22nd fastest growing beer, 22nd fastest growing beer in the country, which is pretty awesome. They we'll talk about them later, but they got a long list of really dope beers, and like I said, with the sour, they got 2 other versions. They say that their goal is to make sure that each Mast Landing beer that you drink is amazing. It's a good goal, whether you're visiting us in Maine or enjoying a pour at your favorite bar or restaurant with family and friends. They say they've showcased their beers at festivals across the country and internationally, shared them with new fans here in the Northeast, and poured them for countless locals and visitors at our tasting rooms in Maine, and that's tasting rooms plural. They do have a second one that opened this month, July 2021.
Bang!
And where is he? Mike?
Bang! Exclamation point!
You don't just call out Mike. You got to play Mike.
I figured if I did it, I was like, he'll know what I'm talking about.
The brewery behind me on YouTube, this is their new space. This is Freeport. So they have the original tap room in Westbrook, Maine. They serve food. They have a ton of beer. It's dope. But this is their brand new spot in the Freeport Crossing. I don't know Maine, but that's in Freeport Crossing. It opened on July 8th of this year. So it's brand new. They have a food partner in here as well. It's beautiful, as you can see. This is the bar, but it's got an outdoor space as well. It's got a pilot brewing system, which gives the production team, quote, a chance to experiment and innovate, producing small batch beers exclusively for the Freeport taps and testing ideas that might be developed into wider reaching production. And then the second floor of this facility has a 4,000 square foot, or it converts to a 4,000 square foot private event space, which is one of the largest in Maine, or at least in the area.
You had me at second floor. What brewery do we know that has a walk-up floor? I mean, when you go to certain breweries, they have the
yeah, it's a rare thing. I mean, this is a pretty big space for them.
Yeah.
And and it's their second space, like we said. I mean, their main place in Westbrook has been operating for years, so this is just sort of a bonus for them, and it's a bonus for the Freeport Crossing area. From what I gather, that's I don't know if it's like a mall, like an outdoor, it's it's some sort of outdoor shopping venue or something, but it's just like some new culture to the area. And
we need to go to Maine because we need to go visit this brewery and get some lobster. Maine lobster is ka-ching.
Maine is kind of dope. I mean,
Maine can hang.
Maine can hang. It's of the New England states. I would say it's in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. I wanted to really quickly talk about the community aspect of this brewing company regarding what do we always call this the second name we have this podcast, Put It in a Barrel.
Put It in a Barrel with Gabe and Steven. That's normally where I play Mike, but I just did.
It's all right. Barrels indeed. Every year...
Yay!
Barrels. Every year, the brewery tallies up the number of barrels that they use to brew. They allocate $1 per barrel for a scholarship that benefits a graduating student at Westbrook High School, giving back. It's what they do. They say, our hope is to not only ease the burden of paying for the next step in one of our young community members' lives, but also to show that we grow our business and we also grow our commitment to our hometown. And in 2021, so far, the number of barrels they have used, 3,053. Well done. That's dope. Giving back to the community, beer can help support. So, buy their beer, but get the barrel beer specifically.
And so maybe that's a hint as to how this beer was soured. Maybe it was put in a barrel.
It might be put in a barrel, which makes it our top choice so far.
Now, where can you find their beer? You can find it in a variety of states. They are expanding quite a good bit. So they're in all of New England. Obviously, their main states, no pun intended, are Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and CT. But they are also in... See, it's not listed. I'm looking at a map, so bear with me.
See, here's the funny thing. I was like, I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at, and I was like, yeah, I don't see where the states are, but he's got it. Damn it. Now we have to do geography and figure it out together.
think that's Arizona. I'm pretty sure. That's definitely Oregon. We got Florida.
That's definitely Oregon, yeah.
We got Florida. That's Georgia. Now, here's where it gets dicey. I want to say...
Georgia. That is Tennessee.
Kentucky.
And
No, Kentucky's not lit up. No, it's Tennessee, regular Virginia. North
Michigan?
Carolina.
That looks like Michigan. Oh, guys, we promise we graduated high school. We promise.
Washington D.C. for sure. Okay, I got it. It is
God.
It is North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Georgia, Tennessee. We got Western New York, Vermont, Michigan for sure.
Yep.
And they are available internationally. And I already mentioned Arizona and Oregon.
Yeah, that's
There
definitely
we go.
Oregon. That's definitely Oregon. All right. So our school teachers can't be too upset by that. We figured it out.
Listen, you pull out a map and try to label all the states. Some of them, big ones, the coasts I'm pretty good on, but once you get into that middle, like Iowa, throw a dart. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
It's a square.
I remember being in school and just like learning about all the states, and maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I vaguely remember being like, these are these states, those are those states, and the teacher just being like, yeah, all the stuff in the middle, like, don't worry about it.
Which honestly, no shade, but I'm about to throw shade. I've driven across this country, and that's exactly how I feel about those in the middle. Anyway,
But you know where they're not available, which is a shame?
Montana!
It's been way too long since
it
we
has
played
been a
that.
while.
Oh my
It has been a while.
What's wrong with us?
Wow. That is a multi-layered question we don't have time to answer. Anyway, you can get their beer in all those places and apparently internationally. They're available in some bars. They work with a bunch of different distributors, including in Massachusetts, Night Shift Distributing. And they are, like I said, they're expanding pretty quickly. So look out for them. You can get your hands on them. Maybe not this beer specifically, but you can get some of their beers. We'll get into what they have to offer a little bit later. But Gabe, do you want to offer some final thoughts on this all the way up?
Very solid, very delicious. I like it. I don't know this for a fact, but based on the name, I'm going to assume it's named after...
All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up.
It's probably not, but that would be dope if it was. I would love to try the other versions, specifically the blackberries and mango, just because I think that's a weird combination. I would love to see what it would do. Go get it, sour fans. If you're not a sour fan, maybe you'll like the next beer we have.
Yep, I agree. Sour fans, this one's for you, and it's not overly tart. The lactose is a nice touch. Maybe it's something a little different from what you're used to. It's a good combination of flavors, and they have different versions of it. So if tangerine and passion fruit aren't really your fruits, they have other options. And that orange, pineapples, and cherry one is kind of interesting to me as well, because the orange and pineapple is kind of expected, but the cherry is like, oh, I'm intrigued.
Sounds like it'd be good in like a smoothie. So I'd love to see how they would sour that,
Yeah, it probably is delicious. We have something completely different coming up now.
You ready to roll the dice, Steven?
No.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So it's the Gunner's Daughter Milk Stout. If you have heard of this brewery, this is a big beer for them. They love brewing it. People love it, but some people really don't. It's very polarizing, but here we go. Now, the reason I'm scared of it is because this is the description from the can. A beautifully aromatic milk stout with bold flavors of peanut butter, coffee, and dark chocolate. This dark mythical beer nods to the long past legends of our region's seafarers. Now, we've addressed it on the show before, I think, but for a refresher, I am allergic to peanuts. I cannot eat them. I will die. Yes, I'm one of those people, and fuck you for your judgments. Anyway, so my brother has tried to buy peanut butter beer for me before. He thought it would be funny as like a joke, and he went to the owner of the liquor store and was like, hey, like, my brother has a peanut allergy. Like, this would be... And he was like, if you like your brother at all, do not give him this beer. Like, it literally has chunks of peanut butter floating in it.
Oh, my God.
I have a firm commitment there will never be a peanut butter beer on the hop, partially because only Gabe could drink it, but we would never do that. But this is the closest we will ever come. So to that end, if you're on YouTube, this is an EpiPen.
Oh, my God.
I have it right by my side, so I can... I mean, this would be fucking epic. If I need to inject myself with this for the first time in my 29 years of life on the hop, this would be a pretty dope episode. We might go viral.
definitely one for the record books. Full disclosure from the brewery, they said does not contain nuts or peanuts.
Yeah, we're not being stupid. This honestly, like,
that's what it said.
When I first read it, I was like, "Oh, we can't do this beer." I mean, and it's somebody gave it to us, so but the brewery says there's no peanuts in it, and we'll see. However, every review I read was like, I mean, I've never seen the word peanut butter so many times.
So much, yeah, same.
It was just everywhere. And then when I poured it, I was like, all right, what is it? Like roasted malt? But when I poured it, no, it hit me right up.
Brewed with natural flavors to taste like peanut butter and chocolate without using either, nut-free, contains lactose. That's what it says. We'll see.
We'll see. But I think it's worth mentioning for a few reasons. And one is to just, in the interest of full disclosure, that my take may be a little biased. My body is trained to reject that flavor. Here's the beer facts.
I think you should take the tiniest sip and then wait a minute and see what happens.
See what I did.
I'm kind of not kidding.
Here's the beer facts. ABV 5.5%. SRM chart, it's a stout. It's a 40. Black. Beer Advocate 94, Untapped 4.17. And like I said, this is a pretty polarizing beer. I've seen a lot of people talk about how much they love it. The brewery themselves have said, I think the quote was they could brew 11,000 barrels of just this beer and they'd be able to sell every drop. It's a super popular one for them. But I've also seen a lot of reviews that really just were very against it. So
40% of production in 2018 was the Gunner's Daughter alone.
Yeah, it's
not bad.
It's a staple for them. They also have a nitro version, which is pretty popular. But
yes,
we're getting into the regular one. So here it is. It poured with a good bit of that sort of creamy tan head that you would expect. Not a whole lot of retention. It is sort of a ring around the glass at this point. Good bit of lacing, though. Looks creamy. There's lactose in it.
This smells like a hunk of peanut butter. Peanut butter, coffee, chocolate. That's just what I'm being punched with. Wow. I'm getting more and more worried by the minute. I'm not going to lie.
All right, I'm going to try and look past peanut butter. And what I'm going to say I smell is hazelnut, which I'm also allergic to.
Which also doesn't help. Oh, God, this is not good.
I smell a coffee shop. When you, all right, not like your standard Starbucks, but when there's a coffee shop in the mall, it's typically a coffee bean or something, and they make all those fun espresso drinks, and you walk in there and it's a lighter roasted smell, it's the lighter beans or something. There's it just smells like a chocolate chip cookie or something. That's the smell I'm associating with this.
For sure, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't think I'm smelling roasted malt as much as I'm smelling what I just said. I mean, it is roasted malt that's giving that scent.
I feel like I'm smelling
chocolate,
hot fudge brownie,
caramel.
Definitely.
Dessert.
Now that you mention it, definitely hazelnut. It's I didn't really get that at first, and then you said it, I was like, oh wow, yeah. The hazelnut, just the flavor. It's just very strong.
Yeah. I was wondering if there would be any fruit, any berry, raspberry, strawberry. Yeah, that's a no. It's chocolate sauce, very sweet.
One review I read said if chocolate milk could be a beer. So we'll see.
Well, that I like chocolate milk. I just don't like peanut butter. So
it's not that you don't like it. It's just you can't have it.
Here's the thing, though. I think that if they just handed me this beer and it wasn't in the description and it wasn't all over the website and it wasn't in everybody's review, if you just handed me this beer, I don't think I would even pick up peanut butter. That wouldn't be my first scent. My first scent would be chocolate and caramel. My first scent would be maybe hazelnut, definitely roasted malt, espresso, coffee. I mean, there's a lot of things to me that I smell that aren't strictly peanut butter,
right.
I think, but I'm no peanut butter expert.
I smell peanut butter. I eat peanut butter all the time. It's one of my 5 main food groups. So for me, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. So let's drink it. Again, I encourage a small sip and then wait because we don't want anyone getting hurt.
I'm risking death here on the hop.
Oh my
for
god.
For you, the listeners. So
this
Gabe,
is kind of scary. Oh jeez.
here we go.
All right. How we feeling? I'm not gonna lie. I'm. This is just me being a friend, but I don't know what I just sipped. I'm more concerned of like, is he gonna be okay? Because if you're gonna be fine, then I'll really get into it. But right now, I'm like, I don't know what the beer is like.
So far so good.
Okay. It says it doesn't have nuts.
The peanut butter is there though, and there it is. It's on the taste. It's pretty sweet. I wouldn't say it's like cloyingly sweet. It is balanced, but it's pretty sweet. The lactose is absolutely present. There's some spice, there's some clove, there's some nutmeg, but the predominant thing is exactly what they said it's going to be: coffee, chocolate, and peanut butter. This is probably the closest I'll ever come to eating a Reese's peanut butter cup. Now, it's very roasted.
Yes.
I think it's surprisingly dry though. Like it's creamy, but I think the finish is pretty dry, which I was a little bit surprised by.
The back end. It definitely kind of leaves you. I wouldn't say thirsty, but I could get like you may need another sip. And
yeah,
but I kind of like that. It's kind of enjoyable. I'm definitely getting. Okay, another review I read was Reese's peanut butter cup liquid, and I wouldn't say that. I think I'm getting peanut butter. But I think it's close for sure, yes. But I'm getting more dark chocolate and peanut butter rather than like, this is exactly like a peanut butter cup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that flavor dominates it to the point of like, there's not much else there. I mean, am I getting hops? Hell no. Am I getting any kind of fruit or anything beyond dessert? No. Am I even getting like vanilla? Not really.
No.
Like there's a little creaminess, but it's that flavor. It's dominating it.
I feel like the creaminess is there, but it goes away so quickly because of like, I feel like I'm getting it. And then the second I start to notice it, I feel the back end and I'm like, oh yeah, it's a little dry. Like my mind goes away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the mouthfeel when it's in your mouth is silky. It's smooth. The carbonation is like medium to low. So it's very rich in your mouth. But when you finish it and you take the swallow, it's dry and it just leaves your mouth with like a little bit thirsty and sort of a lingering roasted quality, I think, like lingering burnt malts. Would I call it a dessert beer? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say I think I would, honestly. Yeah, I don't.
We usually say no to that, but I mean,
I just think because the flavor is just so strong, I just like, you can't drink this and think, oh well, this is a nice. No, this is like, if you drink this before dinner, you're like one of those kids. It's like, I'm having cookies before dinner. Like that's what this is. You know what I mean? It's
way more like sweet flavor than like drinking a Guinness or something like that. It's and it's completely gonna dominate whatever you're eating. Like if this is not dessert, then you can forget that like spaghetti carbonara that's in front of you because you're not gonna taste it. So
oh my god, do not mix this with an Italian pasta night. No. This is an after dinner, maybe a piece of pie or a cake. If you really want to balance it and you don't want too heavy of the chocolate, I would go in the ice cream direction. Like vanilla, like this with vanilla ice cream, this might
reduce
make a
this
good
down and pour it over vanilla ice cream. There's your winner.
Was just about to say this. This might make a good float.
For my brethren out there, I do not like the taste of peanut butter. I know this because, I don't know if this is exactly the same, but once in my life, a friend gave me sun butter. It's like made from sunflower seeds and it comes in a jar and it looks like peanut butter. And the idea is you can eat it and then like, oh, look, like now you know what peanut butter is. I had to choke that down every time I tried to eat it because my throat would just be like, don't swallow this.
Right.
You're not supposed to eat this. Do not swallow this. So when I get that hint of peanut butter, it's just really off-putting to me. So
it's mind over matter. You've trained your mind and body to say no to stuff like this. So I mean, it makes sense. You seem okay.
I'm fine. Yes, it's like I'm sort of torn because it's like normally when it's a peanut butter beer, it's just an automatic no for me, and I love that they like went out of their way to be like, no, you can drink this, and I did drink it, and I got to experience the flavor, and in a way, that's very. Thank you for including us, Mast Landing. Hands up to you for that. We appreciate it. But hold on, let me finish the applause before I continue criticizing their beer. But on the flip side, I'm not sure I enjoy it very much, and I think it's I think it's biased because of that.
That's totally fair. I totally get that. You know, there are people out there that can't eat peanut butter. There are people out there that can eat it and don't like it, and that's fine. That's totally fine. For me, this is a thumbs up 10 out of 10 all the way, but that's just me. I love peanut butter. I eat peanut butter all the time. I think it's great. I think it's different. I think it's the first word that comes to mind for me is just fun. It's fun. It's a peanut butter beer without being too much. It's a Gunner's Daughter milk stout. By the way, there's peanut butter in it rather than this is our peanut butter ale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like how it's kind of a second thought, but there's so much flavor in it. I really like it. This is, I have to say it though, this is a dessert beer. This isn't, I don't even think it's like a cozy up by the fire sort of situation. I think this is like, all right, I had dinner. Now I need, you know how some people like fancy people, they drink brandy after dinner. Like if you're like, I don't want something strong, I want a beer, get this.
I mean, so ultimately what's your rating between the two if you had to rank them? Just because this is some people love the flavor, some people hate the flavor, but it's definitely a dessert beer, and I think I can objectively say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it's not very balanced. I mean, it's not cloyingly sweet, it's balanced in that way, but it's one thing, and it's one thing hard, versus the sour was like you had the lactose, you had the tart, you had these different flavors. It was like a more delicate tightrope walk of sort of beer craft, if you will. Whereas this is like, I think fun is a perfect way to put it. It's fun, but it's not like blowing me away in terms of like beer styling, because it's like, it's just one flavor.
I do have to agree with you on that. If I'm being truthful, that is correct. It is very like, the description on the can is what it is rather than, oh, I'm getting this. Oh, I'm getting this. It's like, no, you're getting three things and move on.
And it's
for
fun,
sure.
like you said. Like that's not. Fun, though. We don't mean that to say that every beer has to be that complex. It's fun, and it's like it is what it is, and like I don't hate it for that reason. I think my own bias is just in the way of it.
I think it's a little hard to rank them. It's
very different.
Okay, I'll say this. For ranking, I can't say I prefer one or the other just because they're so different. On the ranking of craft and the thought process and what goes into it, I think the sour is more interesting. Like, okay, I'll say this. If I had to choose one to enter into like any sort of competition, I'd probably pick the sour because there's more to it.
Okay. Well, that's what we think of the flavor, but it's time to get Bobbert involved, because can art's a whole other matter, and we have an expert for that.
Can Art and Crafts.
Yeah, Can Arts and Crafts. Let's judge those books and their covers. So funny. All the way up, we've got the sour. Now, I like this because we got an orange can with like lime green, seafoam green markings. It kind of looks like a piece of artwork. I don't know. We did some research. I wasn't able to find any like information about the artist or whatnot, but it looks kind of like graffiti almost. It's cool. It's fun. It says all the way up very clearly across the bottom of the can. I think it could, depending on what beers it's sitting next to, it can stand out. If it's next to another orange label, you're going to miss it. But if it's next to colors that don't conflict with it, this will definitely stand out. But, the Gunner's Daughter. New Orleans Saints fans, you're going to feel at home with this beer because the colors are pretty much your logo. Black can with a lot of like golden design patterns. It's fun. It's got the golden ship in the middle. It kind of looks like some sort of like emblem or patch in the middle. Like I feel like you'd see it on like somebody's like sport coat or something. It's just very fun. But it's very design art heavy, and that's gonna score you more points. I really do enjoy it. I think I'm gonna rate these differently just because they are so different. I think I'm gonna give all the way up a solid 6.5. I think it's the colors are bright. There's not a lot going on, but there's enough going on. And then the Gunner's Daughter, I mean, I think I got to give it a 10. I mean, that design is just so pretty. If you're on YouTube, you can see it. Just black can with the golden, like, floral pattern. The first thing I thought of was the New Orleans Saints logo. It doesn't have that specific marking, but it just looks that way. So we got those scores for these beers. They're really great. I think they both stand out in their own capacity. Bob Ross is here. Bob Ross agrees. And thank you for joining us for another amazing, stupendous edition of Can Arts and Crafts.
Now, despite the two beers that we are featuring here, they're not just a weird beer brewery. They have plenty of all the stuff that you'd expect from every brewery. New England IPAs for days. Regular IPAs for days. They got a West Coast. They got DIPAs. When you open their beer list, the first thing. Ooh, that Tripa is good. We usually call them Typas.
I like Tripa.
The first thing that hits you though is this triple, and it's a 9.3% ABV that's quadruple dry hopped with Citra, Simcoe, Enigma, and El Dorado, which is crazy. I'm really into triples right now. It's just really my thing, and it's White Lion Brewing's fault out of Massachusetts. They caught me onto it. But they also have multiple different Kolsch's, which is like most breweries don't have one, let alone two Kolsch's. They got lagers.
I like a nice Kolsch beer for sure.
Yeah, it's a good style. They have a lot of variety. They've got multiple sours. They have the Gunner's Daughter on Nitro.
This name, Pantless Thunder Goose IPA. It's a double 8.3%. Oh, that's perfect. A goose is on the loose. We're having
Only
fun.
You. And then at the Freeport location is where they're going to be doing, like I said earlier, a lot of sort of microbrewers, pilot brewing systems. They're going to be trying some new stuff out. So, that's where right now their beer list is pretty similar. But, you might see some weird stuff on tap there as well. So definitely a good brewery to check out, not just for the sour and stout people, but for the IPA people as well. Plenty to offer.
Looking at the website, I see wings, I see a pizza, I see pretzel.
Lot of food. The Freeport location works with Nighthawk's Kitchen. That's their food vendor in there. And then the one, their main Westbrook tasting room, they have it's called Mainstay by Mast Landing. That's been doing their food forever, and it looks delicious.
Absolute
Gabe, we got to
fire.
go to Maine.
I'm going to Maine next year because a certain brother of mine is getting married there.
Mast Landing, here we come. I just invited myself to the wedding. All right, we have
You'll
one more
be my
thing to
plus
do
one.
before we leave. Here we go.
Last call.
All right, now this guy's name is Reza Bellucci, and he's a cyclist from Iran, and he had a plan this week that went awry. And we're going to talk about it. So this dude, for whatever reason, decided that he wanted to run from Miami to New York. Crazy enough as it is, but he wanted to do it on the water. So he built a giant floating, what he calls a hamster wheel. It's like a human contraption. It's like metal, kind of looks like a hamster wheel with like giant floaties on the side of it.
Those look like those workout balls that you sit on.
Yeah, it does. It looks like he just filled it with that and just I don't know.
Go float.
The thing is, so now, spoiler alert, it didn't go well. And Reza was pulled over by, deputies from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, which is near Miami, had to rescue him after, quote, complications forced him to return to shore. This article is not clear on what those complications are.
God.
I am dying to know.
Oh my God, yes.
What happened?
One of the balls popped and he was like, I'm sinking.
I mean, all right. Even if that worked exactly as he thought it was going to, you're running in water. Spoiler alert, humans cannot walk on water. Well, there was one guy maybe, but depends on, I don't want to step on any beliefs.
That was good. I like that. Okay, let's start from the beginning. First line of the article, the title of the article, man running across the ocean in a floating hamster wheel washes up on shore. How do you not click on that? That's clickbait if I've ever seen it. Are you kidding me?
And we did, and here we are. He was interviewed, and he said, quote, "My goal is to raise money for homeless people, raise money for the Coast Guard, raise money for the police department, raise money for the fire department. They are in public service, they do it for safety, and they help other people." It's not clear where this money is supposed to be coming from. He claims he was doing this for charity. But,
are you finding this money in the ocean? Is that what the thought is? Like, what? Yeah, who's paying for this?
But this isn't just what caught my eye. What caught my eye about this article is that this is not the first time this man has done this, and it's also not the first time he's had to be rescued by trying something like this. In 2014, he tried to journey from Florida to Bermuda in a, quote, hydro bubble, and then he tried the same trip again in 2016. Both times he had to be rescued off the coast by the Miami Coast Guard, who deemed the journey too dangerous. And Reza said that he won't stop trying to complete these bizarre treks. Reza, from us to you, my man, stop trying. Stop trying.
This guy.
Some mountains aren't meant to be climbed.
This guy must be really bored. If he was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run from Miami to New York. Great. Awesome. Absolutely. How are you going to do it? I'm going to build a hamster wheel. Like, why didn't any of his friends
How many
stop
drugs
him?
had to be consumed over what period of time to get him to that thought? I mean,
Thank you.
You're
And
sitting in your living room.
If the answer is none, we've got a real problem.
You're sitting in your living room smoking weed, looking at that hamster thinking, shit, I bet I could do that.
I feel like it's not that hard. We just got to get a bunch of balls and a cage and
Tommy, you see that thing you're sitting on? Can we get like 20 more of those from Walmart? And then we'll build like a metal thing and we'll just put it in the ocean.
I just think of the Coast Guard, like, how funny would it be if they go to save him again and they're like, you know, we've got a distress in the middle of the ocean. There's a man, he needs help. Okay, let's go help him. They pull up on a boat and they see him and they're like, son of a bitch, it's Reza again. Yeah, hey man, what are you doing?
What are we doing, dude? Yeah.
Like,
my man,
who
it's
in the
not
Coast Guard
working.
got so pissed they were like, why did I come into work today? I should have taken a day off and now I gotta help this guy again.
It's truly amazing. I mean, if it was only, listen, I love the good-hearted intention. We don't want to shit on this man. I
No,
love that he
of course
wants to
not.
raise money for charity. But Reza,
Look
there
at
are
that
other
smile.
ways. Make a lemonade stand.
Okay, so maybe it's just to say he did it, but let's take the hamster wheel out of the equation. You run from Miami to New York. Why?
Hamsters run in wheels, not in water. So why the water? That's the question I have. Run from Miami to New York on land.
Can you take that on the highway?
And do it in a wheel if you want. Can you take it on the... No, you'd have to plan...
Get out of the way. And it's like, go around me. I'm running,
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. I had a hamster at one point in my life, and he used to run on that thing, and he loved, good exercise, and I'm sure... This dude's
I like when
probably
you put them in the
ripped.
little balls on the floor and they run into shit in the house. Like the little ball that can go anywhere.
Yep. Yeah. Anytime I was like cleaning the cage, I'd just throw him in there and he'd just be bouncing
I'm not
around.
sure what the point of that is. I think it's just maybe it's just big enough they can't like get lost and get under couches and shit. They're just like kind of protected.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. But like he could listen, humans have been doing that. That's the thing. Like people have been putting themselves in balls and rolling down hills and shit forever. It's New Zealand. You could go do that. And I kind of want to try it if I'm being honest. But
that cushion ball where you bump into each other. Yeah. See, that looks like fun. This looks kind of weird.
This looks really dumb and ad hoc and stupid.
It also looks like he made this like in his garage, and I gotta be honest, if it's not factory made, I'm not touching it.
Yeah, and also like the ocean. The ocean
it's a cage with like little holes, so like water can get through. Like, what?
How are you gonna eat? Did he bring food?
He probably had a backpack.
You gonna sit down?
What do you do when you're tired and you're in the middle of the Atlantic and there's sharks around you? Like,
Reza, I don't think you thought it through. I think that you have a few kinks to work out. I think we need to go back to the drawing board, and I'm sure he'll be trying it again very, very soon.
People made planes. You can just fly, man. You don't have to be a hero. But yeah, he looks like a great guy. He's probably ripped. He is a cyclist and a runner apparently, so he's got that going for him.
He's just a little nuts. Thank you for joining us for round 83. We had fun. We drank some beer. I tasted peanut butter. I didn't have to use the
Steven
EpiPen.
Didn't die.
It's all good. Mast Landing Brewing Company out of Maine. Get up there or get to one of those states that we listed and find their beers because it's worthwhile. It'll be good for you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Drink good beer. Love each other. Say something nice. We'll see you next week.
Go Pack Go, baby!
We got a quarterback!